Nine-year-old treaty that is being ripped up and tossed out today. The Philippines notified the United States that their major security pact is over. For more on this developing story, let's turn to RT's Farron Franczak. She's following the story out of D.C. way over into the Philippines. So, Farron, the question is, after almost 70 years, why now?
Yeah, Manila, so the United States was given a warning roughly 3 weeks ago by Philippines President Rodrigo Duterte that if the U.S. didn't reinstate the country's national police chief's visa, he would end the Visiting Forces Agreement, known as the VFA, which allows American forces to train in the country. Now, Washington reportedly canceled the U.S. visa of Duterte's loyal ally, Senator Ronald De La Rosa, after he was linked to human rights violations when he first enforced the president's anti-drug crackdown. The U.S., other Western governments, and even human rights groups were alerted that thousands of mostly poor suspects were killed under this anti-drug crackdown launched by Duterte when he took office back in 2016. Now, Duterte said that President Trump did try to save this agreement, but he rejected the idea, adding that he's tired of the United States getting involved in Philippine affairs. Take a listen.
America continues to look as a vassal state because we were under the Americans for 50 years. So if you do not, if I cannot get a credible posture from the Americans, I can get it from the Russia and the Chinese government. It's because they respect the sovereignty of the country, which America is totally lacking.
Now, since gaining independence from the United States back in 1946, the Philippines actually have been one of America's strongest allies in the Southeast Asian region. But since coming to power in 2016, Duterte has publicly criticized the U.S. and recently accused American forces of secret activities in his country. Now, as for today's decision to end the U.S. security agreement, the U.S. Embassy in Manila has responded, writing, "This is a serious step with significant implications for the United States-Philippines alliance. Our two countries enjoy a warm relationship deeply rooted in history. We remain committed to the friendship between our two peoples." Manila.
So, Farron, do we know when this all goes into effect? And has there been any backlash to Duterte's move?
Well, Manila, as far as the timeline, here's what the president's spokesman had to say about that earlier today. Take a listen.
The notice of termination has been sent, and the effectivity of that would be 180 days from the receipt of the U.S. government of such notice.
So you heard 180 days. Now, Manila, some Philippine senators believe the decision by Duterte, which the Senate ratified, should have had the chamber's consent with the country's foreign secretary, saying this: terminating the VFA will negatively impact the Philippine security and defense arrangements, as well as the overall bilateral relations of the Philippines with the U.S., and perhaps even on the sub-regional level. Our contribution to regional defense is anchored on our military alliance with the world's last superpower. Now, according to the DoD, American forces have provided intelligence, training, and aid that helped the Philippines to deal with human trafficking, cyber attacks, illegal drugs, and even terrorism. The U.S. military also helped Filipino forces stop a siege by an Islamic State group-aligned militants back in 2017. Reporting in Washington, Farron Franczak, RT.